And welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks for making your way here. For check out the episode, of course, you know what to do. If you like what you see, what you hear, hit that subscribe button. I put out new interviews just like this one every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. You can also find us over in podcast land like Spotify, Apple Podcast, NPR, WFPK.org, Consequence, or of course right here on YouTube for the video versions. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you can subscribe to Kyle Meredith with. And that's me, Kyle Meredith. Today, I get to catch up with Ian Astbury of the Cults. We've, of course, talked the last few years about their most recent releases. This time around, however, they're touring and kind of looking back. He's touring two bands at once, the Cults, of course, and the band that preceded the Cults, Death Cults. This was actually an in-between band. He's going to tell us all about that. It was a transitional moment. It lasted for about a year in his career, but it became a really important moment, especially in going from some of his earlier post-punk sounds to what would eventually fill stadiums in the Cult. So we're going to be talking all about that and a whole lot more. He's one of my favorite people to have on the show. So let's jump into it. It's Kyle Meredith with Ian Astbury of the Cult.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Full transparency, we're 20 days, 28 days out from a tour. So we're being as productive as possible.
Sure.
I'll try and use some positive language. We got a shitload going on. Cults in a renaissance right now.
Yeah. No, I
So
know. I
all of a
mean,
sudden, we're everywhere.
there's several shows. I mean, there's always, I feel like I see, I hear you all pop up in shows a lot, but especially in the stuff that you've been popping up in lately. Like that must be nice to get that kind of attention when you don't even have to try.
Well, yeah. Well, Severance,
Uh-huh.
Euphoria, even Happy Gilmore too.
Uh-huh.
A few of the shows, doing Rick's podcast. I don't think they just throw a dart at a dartboard. There's obviously something, a frequency that they're picking up on that's always been there with us.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been the outlier, the contradiction. I've been called everything under the sun, from libtard to uh, somebody said my last Death Cult performance. They just said absolute weapon
Huh. Wow.
as a performer, and I read that and I was like, whoa. That's pretty hot. That's nobody's ever said anything like that. Absolute weapon. I was like, wow, that's
You can put that on a business card. That'll work.
you can put that on anything and it
Yeah.
would work. You can put that on your
It's a new t-shirt, right? The new tour t-shirt.
no, no, I wouldn't.
I guess that could
Not
be dangerous, honestly.
not
Yeah.
that much of a narcissist, you know. No,
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
dude, Carl. Love music like you. Grew up in music. Love music. It's all about music.
Mhm.
Even when
Yeah,
it's
but
not
when it's
about
someone
music,
else saying it, it takes the weight off at least. It's not you. You're not giving yourself a nickname by any means. Someone's bestowed this upon you. That's a compliment.
it is a compliment, and you can enjoy that for savor it for nanosecond and
Mhm.
high five yourself and get about your whatever you're doing that day.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing it pop up. I heard it in Happy, I heard it in Severance, and it's always being such a big fan of the music that you have made over the years. It's always a high point in any kind of show. But jumping back to what you said a minute ago, 28 days out. I mean, here you are
Mhm.
back to the back to the States with two bands at once. I mean, the Cult and Death Cults at once.
Yes.
It's not the first time that you've put those clothes back on for the Death Cult, but why now? Why again? What is it about this band that keeps pulling you back to it? Especially because it was such a short moment in time, right? We're talking like more or less like 82, 83, 81.
Death Cult was actually 83,
You just 1 year. Okay.
probably more like 8 months.
Yeah. And here you are again.
It's, I feel if we want to get all Orwellian and dystopian, I feel that 1984 was a 0 point.
Mhm.
It was the end of the 20th century. It was evident that we were moving into this. I mean, Ridley Scott dropped his commercial for the Olympics. Remember that
Yeah, I
commercial?
do. That was, I mean, iconic with the army. I don't know what you call that an army, but yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of almost an extension of the wall, which
Uh,
was only in 1979, 80-ish. Roger Waters had very eloquently with, was it the director Alan Parker?
mm,
They put the war movie together. That was such a seminal moment in like looking at where we are, where we've evolved to post-industrial revolution, post the cotton gin. I mean, here we are now with MTV. Here we are with you know, technologies coming into creeping into our just nascently. Computers. I don't know about you. When I was a kid, I went to school. We had to do the noughts and zeros on a card. Where you know, if you wanted to code, that was your coding. You get a card that had all noughts and zeros and ones. Sorry, noughts and ones,
uh-huh.
and then you had to kind of fill out, black them out, so the computer would read it a certain way. I mean, it's the acceleration of the human ex evolution, I guess.
Mm,
But I feel that that period, especially when McLaren, pistols, what was happening in New York, it was almost like the Aquarian age with the 60s was one um, tributary. And then there was another one with technology coming in. We were going to the moon.
mm.
Now we're talking about going to Mars. It's it transcends your cognitive ability to process this stuff. So instinctively, I always work intuitively, and then afterwards ask why,
Mm.
how. I'm going, gut feeling, just instinct,
I mean,
just
it's so interesting to hear you.
instinctually.
Yeah, to say that because as I was going back and listening to those two EPs that you all did that year, of course, became the album, and thinking about the world at the time. I mean, Cold War era.
We were in the Cold War. We were going to Berlin at that time. One of the first concerts Death Cult did, and we did, Billy and I did, was in Berlin.
Oh wow. So it was
And
one
we
of
had
the
to go
first
to
ones.
Marion Dawn. We had to go through the gate. We had to go through, you had to stay on a single freeway to
Yeah.
go from West Germany into Berlin. And then you were met by East German soldiers and then Russian soldiers. And then we actually recorded at Hansa Studio. We recorded, um, that was later. We did Resurrection Joe at Hansa Studio, right next to the wall. But the first concert was at the Loft, a Nollendorfplatz, which was really Monica Doring, very, very famous Berlin entrepreneur, uh, advocate of culture. And we played with her, for her in her club. It was quite seminal.
Yeah.
Um, but seeing that, I mean, CND symbol, the peace symbol, was very prominent. Uh, there was a lot of people on the street.
Right. That's what I mean. To be able to, a lot of bands will use an anniversary, of course, to do something. You were able to say, man, it sure does look a lot like it did when we released that one record.
Yeah,
Let's
there's
like,
certain, yeah, there's certain, it's part of it's our DNA. It's almost like I had I ruptured my Achilles in two places jumping off a bass cabinet about 2 years ago.
yeah.
Good, good one. Um, you know, I'm not in chairlift. Sorry, I'm not in a turnstile, chairlift, turnstile.
Yeah. I gotcha.
You got me. But I had to get PRP, and PRP extracts blood, spins it in centrifuge, puts it back in, accelerates healing. So in some ways, Death Cult is our PRP. It's taking our original DNA, putting it back into us, and it's given us such a sense of revitalization, going back to 0 point, which is also if you have any kind of meditate uh, process, if you practiced, I train martial arts. I've
Mm.
studied since I was a kid, esoteric, certainly Eastern esoteria. Um, you come back to the breath. You come back to the 0 point. That's the moment you're in. So, in fact, the idea of nostalgia is an illusion.
Mhm.
Your body does what it does over the course of a life. Um, but if you can keep coming back to that central moment, that central initial uh, connection, which I believe, I mean, Southern Death Cult was very much that as well. But Death Cult was almost an extension of Southern Death Cult. And then feeling a very familiar social, political, cultural landscape as well. It just felt instinctively appropriate.
Yeah.
The Death Cult appeared, just started to come up more and more in the frontal lobe. And I started to look at it and go like, this is okay. This is scary because in some ways you're going to put this out there and we have no idea how it's
Yeah.
going to be received.
Which it has been very well, very, very well. I mean, this is the way people are fans, especially, but talking about it, the opportunity. I mean, it's like you have a career. You have an if you're lucky as an artist, you have a career. So you're going to be singing a lot of the same songs over and over. And maybe you don't have to tap into them because they're always there, right?
Yeah.
Something like this, like like if I went back and tried to sing the songs back when I did play, for a long, long time ago
Uh-huh.
when I was a teenager, I'd probably
Right.
be looking at it going, ah, man, this is rough. And I'm not saying that because I don't think Death Cult is rough, but I'm saying as the person who did it, like, what is it like tapping back into that? What is it like having that conversation in these songs with the version of you from, 40 years ago?
That kid was a coyote. I mean, that kid was a street kid. I was a street kid. I lived on the street. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I know it's like to sleep in a bus station or a building site or, get rolled on the street, be in a squat, follow crass, etc. You know, smoked a blunt with Paul Simon in a Clash gig in 1979. First time. I didn't even know what it was. Jazz cigarette.
Jazz
Um,
cigarette, yeah.
a jazz cigarette.
I had someone offer me a left-handed cigarette once, and I had no clue what they were talking about. And
It's
I'm
Paul
cool with that.
Simon, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
who was a god and still is a god. Hey kids,
How'd that moment go
you,
for you?
I was just so full of adrenaline and excitement. Cosmo Vinyl, who we worked with the Clash, basically let the back doors open. We went to see the Clash in Glasgow and let us all in. Like the kids were hanging around just to say, wow, hi. And then, fast forward, 3 years later, we're opening for them
Hmm.
in some death cult,
Incredible.
stealing the beer. And so
And
there's
probably
that
the
part of
show.
it. The show was phenomenal. I mean, my God. I remember Mick Jones throwing his white Les Paul up in the air, had a spiral uh, chord, and that guitar went right up. And I thought he was going to catch. Everybody thought he was going to catch it. The very last minute, turned his back and walked away, and it just shattered. And oh fuck, who does that anymore? Nobody.
Nobody
Everyone's
does do that anymore.
what? Kyle, please explain to me what the fuck is going on. It's like artists are terrified. Terrified. People in the industry are terrified.
Hmm.
It's like everyone's frozen.
The danger, right? Like, let I will interrupt you to say, and this is an easy target. I understand it's an easy target, but the MTV still has their
Yeah.
VMAs, and the best rock artist was Coldplay. It's Coldplay as the best rock artist. Now, let Coldplay exist and
We're
do whatever they
sponsored
want to
by
do for whoever.
DHL.
There's so many, but there is the thing. I mean, like, Death Cult
They're
was great
They're
post-punk
lovely, by the
moment.
way. We can't bang on Coldplay. Coldplay have never come across and said we're trying to be something that we're not.
No, no, I said let them exist as they do. I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
absolutely. They're
Yeah.
excellent at what they do. I've seen them live. They're excellent at what they do. They're incredibly entertaining. They transcend you for like 2 or 3 hours. Great. But I'm not talking about Coldplay,
No.
and I'm not talking about like eco-friendly, you know, being able to put on an eco-friendly concert, which we're all aspiring to do. Of course we are. Of course we want it to be. Of course we care about our ecosystem. Of
But I
course we
think
care
that's where
about the environment.
I'm agreeing with you about the danger gone. It's not Coldplay's fault they won Best Rock Artist. I'm not saying that. It's that this that's how this system is now set up. That you have a great post-punk thing going on, you know, with some bands in Ireland and Scotland and stuff like that. And
Mm.
you know,
We talking about Kneecap.
any of those.
They
Yeah.
got into a bit of a fracas. Naughty boys. I mean, we do have.
Fontaines, idols to the same, you know.
Yeah, Fontaine's are dope. Okay. Okay, I might have to retract my comment.
But it's
Perhaps
not on the level. Yeah.
it's what's being popularized, perhaps by the broader media
Mm.
construct. I mean, I love Ethel Cain.
Yeah.
Period. Staggering. Dust Bowl kills me,
Uh-huh.
crushes me.
What
But then
patriarchy? They're opening, right?
Patriarchy are incredible,
Yeah.
incredible, live, raw. Um, I feel it's perhaps where the. I mean, I came up with mentors like Bill Graham. Bill Graham really cared about the community. He really cared about the artists. He was intimately involved with those artists.
Mm.
He was really intimately involved with mentoring artists and communities. That's why we did Gathering of the Tribes. He cared about that. He cared about the community. He saw that MTV was eroding uh, our emotional intelligence, shall we say, and that we were all complicit, maybe subconsciously, in the format. You know, I think feel the formatting of MTV kind of forced us down a certain funnel. And then when we all woke up, we went, oh no, you know, um, which we did. I mean, the cult did anyway,
Mm.
with Gathering of the Tribes in 1990, which obviously evolved into other things. And there is a counter narrative. You're right, there is a counter narrative. But I retain the right. The management preserves the right to change its opinion at any goddamn time it pleases.
Absolutely. But you, the way
I
you all
guess
were able
that's
to,
why I'm the contradiction, a contradiction.
yeah, but the way you all were able to be an outsider in the mainstream, to jump back and forth, like even when the 90s hit, like when I hear The Witch, which is one of my favorite songs, right? When I hear The Witch,
Whoa.
and
Hallelujah. Thank you for noticing.
absolutely, weird movie, great soundtrack.
Baseline came from Pink Floyd. Um, you're a massive Roger Waters fan.
Yeah.
Saw them when I was 13, so
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For you guys to have figured out, Gathering of the Tribes and what it stood for
yeah.
and the way you held yourself out there, artistically speaking, to have been an outsider and to have pulled all those people in. I mean, you're using that terminology still, I know in the new press release about this tour, we are gathering the tribes once again, these outsiders.
Yeah, outlier.
What a thing.
I like outlier. It's
Outlier. Sure.
yeah, it's more maybe more romantic.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But I think we're saying the same thing here. I feel
Yeah, we
like,
are. We're
yeah,
saying the same thing.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
But like, what a thing to do. Um, this sounds like a dumb way to ask this question, but was it hard to be essentially, rock stars, pop stars, arena stars at the time, but to still be this outlier?
Yeah, I struggled with it. Once MTV kind of grabbed the band and we were on heavy rotation, and then we had label behind us like Reprise in the United States, and Seymour Stein had signed us, and we were at that zenith point of a career in terms of commercial success and eyes on. Something didn't feel right because my friends, my associates, my friends were not really in that space. They were more like evolving, like, people like Andrew Wood from Mother Love Bone. They were emerging.
Hmm.
Um, and I was more likely to be around them than I was to be around at some bougie MTV, you know, Velvet Rope party. I didn't go to those places. I didn't frequent. I didn't feel comfortable in those environments. I didn't feel comfortable being objectified, you know, because the way I looked, everyone assumed that was a dum dum, you know. Oh, oh, hold my beer,
Mm.
you know. In Britain, it was, I couldn't get a break. I mean, one journalist, the enemy, said my mother must have been sniffing glue when she gave birth to me, two teepees short of a reservation. So not only did she slander my mother, who died on my 17th birthday of cancer, uh, she also made a racist slur towards Native Americans.
Mm.
Different time. These were put downs, and I wasn't having it. And because I wasn't having it, I spoke my mind to go like, maybe we're just gonna turn the volume down on you a little bit and push you over here. And I took a beating in the media. I took a beating, and everybody assumes, well, many folks assume that because you're not present in media, that you're no longer
Mm.
active, vital, relevant, whatever. It was a personal choice. My father was also dying of cancer at that moment.
Jeez.
He died at 58. So there was a lot going on behind the scenes. And I was also dealing with my own coming of age. I was coming of age in a band. I started when I was 19. So coming from, as many of us do, tumultuous childhoods, and then immediately getting thrown into the cauldron of you're on the front cover of the NME and you don't even have a record out. No music was out.
Mhm.
I'm on the cover of the NME, Southern Death Cult, shot by Anton Corbin in
Wow.
82. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I was at Live Aid in 85, sitting between Bob Geldof and Billy Connolly. Go look at it. It's funny. I just looked at it the other day. Somebody said, "Have you seen it?" I'm like, "What? Live Aid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was there." And said, "No, go look at it." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm drunk." Not me. Am I hammered? But smoking a cigarette. A Live Aid. Why Queen are on stage? What?
That's a
There's a
memory,
lot.
though.
Yeah, there's a lot to process. You don't process it in the moment. You process it. It's like a car accident or something. The shock. I think shock dragged us through the adrenals.
Mhm.
But the cult had a 12-year run before it imploded. We
And
took
it
a
was
hiatus.
still making great music, even as you were imploding, and then going into Holy Barbarians, which is a fucking great record in itself. Like, I don't think you made a bad record, you know?
Oh dear, I laugh at Holy Barbarians. Jesus.
Have you heard
Yeah.
that one? I mean, anytime recently.
Yeah. Some of the lyrics in it, I think that was my kind of Britpop record. That's when football was football.
Uh-huh.
It was very, I mean, I grew up in Merseyside in Glasgow, so, and Canada. So again, the contradiction, because in the UK, they think, why do you speak with an American accent? I'm like, I don't. And then when I'm over here, they go like, are you from Britain? I'm like, kind of. Um, I don't know, that's why I live in LA. But it's a lot, man. It's, yeah, keeping it grounded is, I go to the dojo. That's where I keep it grounded. Train, 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 train. Try and improve, try and be decent, try and be of service, try not to be a dick. Sometimes I'm a dick.
I mean, it's a
Just
good thing to have. I talked to because Maynard from Tool, he's I don't know if I don't know that you all do the same types martial arts, I guess,
Oh no, he
training.
he trains. He's a grappler. He's definitely got ground game. I don't
But
have
I
much
hear
ground.
about that same the way you're talking about it in the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maynard's gorgeous. He is a sweetheart. He is a
Uh,
good man. He's got a good heart, and he's devoted to his craft.
hmm,
He's devoted to music. As a performer, as a writer. He cares.
hmm.
And we recently did shows with Tool, Mexico City, Azteca Stadium was crazy. It was unbelievable, incredible, and that was recently.
I didn't
That was
even,
only in March.
yeah, I don't even, didn't even realize that you all shared the bill.
Well, he got us on the bill,
Yeah.
and Dino, our manager, those two conspired to get us on the bill, and Adam was into it as well. So, um, and Danny, um, they're pretty staggering.
Hmm.
I've seen them 2 or 3 times. It's like, oh,
It's something else. I mean,
it is something else. It is part of the counter narrative.
Yeah.
Um, long may they endure each other's company. It's like, uh, people say, "What's it like being in a band? You guys are all like you all live in the same house or something, like the Beatles and Hard
Uh-huh.
Day's Night, whatever." It's like, no, it's not like that.
I know we only got a few minutes. I couldn't pass up because looking back now, as we're able to do with what you're doing here with this tour, with the Cult and the Death Cult, and just realizing, even as we talk about this, how many different bands, not only have you been by name, but have you been in the cult? You've been a lot of different bands in the cult. And I mean that in your sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we talked about the record 2 years ago. That doesn't sound like
It's like
love.
the wall behind you. We've got on the. Is that Aphex Twin and Prince?
The handprints?
What's
No.
that? Oh, I can't see that
Oh, we
from.
got some Depeche Mode here, REM, of course, Prince and Bowie, Mountain Goats.
That's a good picture, Michael Stipe. Of
Yeah.
course, you got to have David on the wall.
David stays
Gahan
by me
and
always.
Gahan and Bowie.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Sorry.
It's all right. No, but I mean, because I guess that's a part of it too. That's what I mean is like you all have done so many different sounds through your career and pull it off. And I'm not trying to, blow smoke your way or anything like the compliments are genuine is what I mean. Like how do you said this at the beginning, everything's from your gut, right?
Yeah.
Like who's the cult gonna be next?
Oh, it's already started. Ask AI, man. I mean,
Ask AI.
I'd
And this
love
is not like
actually
when are you gonna do a new record? I'm not trying to
ask
do
Noel
that question.
Gallagher. Ask Noel Gallagher. Maybe we should start a supergroup. I don't know. I mean, that could be interesting. Um, I'm obsessed with Berlin. I'm obsessed with the electronic dark wave. I'm obsessed with the dark futurism, electronic, the dark wave femme, the dark wave brutalism. Where I mean, it's evident. It's evident that we are not going to move into a uh, you know knitted pullovers and acoustic guitars. Hello, here's a song about sheep farming. I don't think we're going there. I think it's going to be full B-2 bombers. And I mean, how can you not,
Mhm.
if you have a heart, pick up on what's going on globally? And the idea of being on the spectrum, wherever you are on the spectrum, we're all connected. So hopefully we can work it out.
Yeah.
That's John Lennon talking right there,
Have you
Baggism, man.
have you
It's a
noticed
bagging.
the
Go on.
color matte gray is dominant in vehicles right now? And I think
Yes.
that is so of our time. When you talk
All
about
right.
the Cold War and I think about colors, like
Yeah.
that's the color.
Excellent observation. And that's really using I mean, emotional intelligence. I mean, honestly, that's pretty much how I do it. You just pick up on frequencies and go like, this is really interesting. I'm seeing this here, here, and here, and they're not directly related, but they are.
Mhm.
But you're right. I mean, I'm seeing more and more of that kind of satin or flat gray.
Very industrial.
Very industrial. It feels almost like we're into this. You can imagine, and the Orwell movie just came out as well,
Mhm.
which I haven't seen, but I really want to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I actually love gray. It's so many shades of gray. We're about to use gray again.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're on the frequency and talking about dark wave and stuff like that. Like there's
I'd do it all, man. Honestly, I'd love to do things like fucking play with the Grateful Dead, play with Lana Del Rey, one off. Just do one offs with everybody that you really admire.
yeah.
Like everybody could just go, you know what? Let's share toys. I think that would be an amazing festival actually, to just get a load of people together who love music and say, what are we going to do? It's like, well, what have you got? And what have you got? And then throw it together and do rehearsals and then present it. Not everyone trying to gouge the last penny out of poor promoters who just got their heads in their hands right now.
Gather the tribes, man.
Where there is a will, there is a way, and we
Yeah.
shall find a way. Um, Curated by Rick Rubin, probably. Because Rick knows everybody,
He
apparently.
does know everybody. I bet he does. Yeah.
I could always
And
call him up and ask. Well, he doesn't have a phone, so I'll
Bill
manage to get
Murray
hold of him.
style. You just have to
What's
show
that?
up. Bill Murray style. You just have to show up.
Do you know, Bill Murray might be interesting as a cultural. Uh,
He's on tour. He's got his little blues outfit that he tours with right now.
he does.
Yeah. In fact, I'm in Louisville. They're going to be playing right next door here.
Oh, you're in Louisville,
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah. A few weeks. I
Nice.
think they're going to be over here.
Amazing.
Gather those tribes,
Mhm.
man. I'm telling you, it's time. It sounds like it.
Tribes, yeah, different version. I mean, when I was in, with all respect to Lollapalooza, when I was in South America, I saw the billboards for Lollapalooza, and it was a big Jack Daniels bowl.
Hmm. It's different.
And it was also a sunscreen commercial. So that wasn't the original intention of gathering of tribes. It was about community and diversity and inclusion and tolerance and a festival of music, unity, consciousness, and communication. I came up with that slug line as a 26-year-old, 27-year-old, just earnestly. And people go, "You pretentious. You're so pretentious." I'm like, I'm basically a child. I don't even know how to be pretentious
Yeah.
yet.
Right.
I will wait till I get into my 40s for that. Now I've well gone past that line, but whatever.
Means you just get to go back. You get to go back to childlike wonder.
Well,
It's not
that's it.
fair.
You go back to 0 point, you go back to death cult, you remind yourself of where you came from, and it really does put the fire in your belly.
Yeah.
But the death cult shows that we have done have been, oh my God, savage.
Yeah.
I've Somebody said, "Can you describe it in a sentence or a couple of words?" I went, "Yeah, beatific savagery. It's
It-
connected. It's
right.
connected." And I've seen so much. You know, I've been in Belfast. I've been in Tibet. I've I've been in Berlin when the wall, but I mean, we've seen so much. Been at like traveled, you know, experienced apartheid in South Africa. But so many moments that we haven't really spoken about because I'm not here to kind of, you know, the good old days. It's about what's happening right in this moment. So I think that's why the Paradise Now is the title of the tour.
Hmm.
And then I remember Ray Manzarek when I got asked to join. Ray sat down. I sat down with Danny Sugarman and Ray Manzarek, and they were being offered Harley Davidson's 100th anniversary. And I said to Ray, I said, "Is this the time that you want to go out and play your music?" He said, "Well, if not now, then when?" And I went, "Bloody good point." So that was it. Things come up. You impulsively act upon your gut. And if not now, then when? And that's what we're talking about with Paradise Now.
Hmm.
Paradise Now as a mantra for all. And it is available at your local cult, death cult, patriarchy concert. And we'll be squeezing out a few surprises along the road as well. You know, we're not Oasis, and we're not playing the Rose Bowl and all that, but uh, I remember Noel Gallagher, Noel standing on the side of the stage when we played in stadium in River Plate Stadium, and he was working for Inspiral Carpets.
Hmm.
That was funny.
Yeah. I know. Here we
Anyway,
all
here we all aren't.
are. Well, I tell you, I didn't go to the Oasis shows, but I will be. And by the way, I would have if I got the ticket, happily. But I will definitely be at one of these shows to see the Cult and the Death Cult. I don't think I'm going to miss this one. So,
Yeah, they're going to be. It's going to be pretty kinetic because our style is to rehearse at the very last moment, keep it scary. Like, do I know that bit? Have I forgotten that? Um, we're but the energy of that when you're over rehearsed, it's pretty boring.
hmm,
But when you're kind of under rehearsed, it demands that you have to tap into uh, your emotional intelligence again
hmm.
and
Keep it
respond to the
sane.
moment and
Yeah.
stay off TMZ.
It's a good parting phrase right there for good news for
I,
anybody.
I think TMZ is fine. But I actually got on TMZ in one of our last tours. So but with a good behavioral, good
They were
citizen.
actually saying you were doing something good.
I stopped somebody getting in. There was a choke. Somebody was getting a chokehold in front of me, and the security were picking their noses and not paying attention to somebody who was getting really hurt. I just got involved, and um, I despise violence anywhere, especially at shows.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a safe place. So cult shows are safe spaces. You know,
Yeah.
everyone's welcome.
I love to hear it. I'll be
Yeah.
there. I cannot wait for it.
Thank you,
And
brother.
Ian, I always love talking to you so much. Really. Thank you so much for taking the time again today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your lovely show.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.